Get this, okay, the Gophers are 8-0 for the first time since 1941, and he did a tremendous job at Western Michigan as well. It's like the Western Michigan Broncos getting a lot of play in the show. So what are your thoughts about P.J. Fleck staying with the Gophers, knowing I think there's a statue waiting to be had outside of that stadium if he keeps coaching the way he is?
I mean, I think he could stay there for the rest of his life if we wanted to. And I think Minnesota did the right thing. They knew they had to do it because you got two premier programs out there that are looking for coaches. He was a hot commodity when he went to Minnesota. In Minnesota at that time was when he got hired was the best job that he could get, that he could parlay that job into at that particular time. Although I think another opening happened shortly after he got the Minnesota gig, but he'd already committed himself to Minnesota. Now Minnesota knows that, they might be just dating right now. They might not be married, and they wanted to get a commitment from him, and they went ahead and signed him to a long-term deal, which was smart because we know that USC is going to be aggressive in going out there and trying to find a coach, and Florida State as well. Now, even with this buyout, I think they got the buyout for the first year at $10 million or something like that. You never know. They still might court him because he is a good football coach. There's no question about it. When you're able to win at Western Michigan and go to the Cotton Bowl, take that team to the Cotton Bowl, that's a great job. That means you know what you're doing. And to win at Minnesota, that's a fantastic job. In the Big Ten, to be 8-0 in the Big Ten, that's an outstanding job.
The guy's 38 years old. He says his family loves Minnesota. And you know what? The people in the Minneapolis, Minnesota area, they're nice people up there.
They're great.
They are. So I have a
just give it a few winners. Give it a few more winners. Give it a few more winners, and we'll see.
Yeah, right. I don't know. He seems to have survived him so far. So now that we've talked about some of these big news items, we're going to turn Mel Farr into a prognosticator. You ready, Mel? I'm going to hit you, but I'll hit you with records so you don't feel like you're going into it totally blind, okay?
Please. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. Anything for you, buddy. Looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks, by the way. So
Absolutely.
We'll be talking a lot more on the phone long before we get out in front of you. All right, so let's talk about some key games. We're going to talk about Louisville 5-3, Miami 5-4.
Yeah, I would probably have to go with, Miami's coming off of the win against Florida State that obviously cost Willie Taggart his job. I would go with Miami in this game.
Okay. All right. Next up, your favorite school, Florida State, 4-5 against Boston College, 5-4.
Yeah, it's always tough on kids. Well, I never experienced it, but I have to imagine that it's pretty tough on kids, to lose their coach. I would say that Boston, Florida State hasn't been playing that well. Quarterback play has not been that good. I would have to say Boston College.
Okay. No problem. Now the game that you and I talked about that you wanted to talk, 2 8-0 teams, Penn State against Minnesota. Penn State goes into this thing number 4. Minnesota number 17. What undefeated team stays undefeated?
Penn State. I like the way they're playing. Yeah, I like the way they're playing. They got a little kid. They got a kid from Michigan, that receiver and kick returner that nobody can cover. And just quick and fast. I like Penn State in this game. I think this is the year that Penn State is going to raise that program to the next level. They've always kind of been there, to kind of flirting with it, and end up losing one of the big games that they should win, or that they were ahead at halftime and came out flat in the second half. I think this is the year that Penn State keeps it together, and they'll definitely beat Minnesota this weekend.
Well, you know what I'm going to do, just for the sake of conversation, when I bring on you talk college hoops next Thursday, okay? I'm going to take Minnesota. We'll just see what happens. How's that sound?
Okay. Sounds good.
Do that. And I'm actually highlighting your winners. I want to see how you do and compare. If I like this format, I might be bringing you on for a lot of college picks in the future. This is this will be pretty good stuff. Okay. With that said, we'll stay in the undefeated ranks. Number 2 LSU 8-0 versus number 3 Alabama 8-0. 2 is back. Nick Saban's old schools and new schools, and SEC West showdown.
Yeah, this is a game that I think everybody's looking forward to, including myself. I like Nick Saban. I really do. I like what he's done. I've respected what he's done everywhere he's been. And I followed him back when he was at Michigan State and when he went to LSU and then, obviously Miami. He flirted with Miami, the Dolphins, and then came back to Alabama and resurrected that program. I'm not feeling real good about this game for Alabama because LSU is playing lights out. Right. I mean, they are playing fantastic. Joe Burrow looks like he definitely looks like the Heisman front runner right now. Tua's coming off an injury. He's a little gimpy. That defense is young for Alabama, has not been playing that well, but I'm still going to say Alabama's going to pull it out.
You are? Okay, well, I'm not going to sit here and
argue that.
Go against you on this one. Although I'll tell you, LSU looks like an enticing possibility. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say LSU so we could differ again. How's that sound?
Yeah, go out on a limb.
I am. Hey, listen, you're getting me to do it. I'm with you. Okay. Now, I'm not going out on a limb with the other ones. I'm just going to throw them at you, okay? Kansas State 6-2 against Texas 5-3. How about what Kansas State did to Oklahoma, Mel?
Yeah, that was impressive. That game was very impressive. Absolutely. And I think Kansas State will beat Texas.
Yeah, okay. All right. Next game here, since you like to talk about USC looking for a coach, now you get USC against Arizona State, who has one that you're all too familiar with. That's Herman Edwards.
Yeah, both programs are reeling right now. I think Arizona State's lost a couple games, even lost to my mighty Bruins. Obviously there's so much going on at USC. I think they just named the athletic director, the guy from Cincinnati. I think they're going to bring him on as athletic director. Helton's coaching for us. I think it doesn't even matter what he does this year. I believe he's out of there. I'm going to say that Arizona State gets back on the right track and they're going to win this game.
Sounds good. Okay. We're going to stay in your backyard, Mel. Okay. And we're going to talk about Georgia State against Louisiana Monroe.
Yeah, the Georgia State, my daughter goes to school there, so, I follow them a little bit. I'm going to go with Georgia State. I have to go with my kid.
Nothing wrong with that. A lot of people don't realize that Atlanta has another school outside of Georgia Tech, and now you got Georgia State. I know that wasn't it Bill Curry, I think, that built that program from the ground up, and then he's handed it over a few times?
Yeah, I mean, there's enough talent in this state that if Georgia Tech doesn't get its act together here real soon, that Georgia State could be a real player. And because there's a lot of talent here in the state of Georgia, as everybody knows, and down here in this region, in the South, in this region here, where there's room for another program, and Georgia State is trying to do that. I mean, they've moved up the ranks quickly, and they've developed that program. They play at the old Turner Field. They converted that into their football stadium.
Right.
They no longer, they used to play at the Dome. They no longer do that. They have their own field. So I look forward to it. I look forward to seeing what Georgia State's going to do here in the coming years.
Yeah, I was thrilled that they did that they took Turner Field and made it their own. And my friend Tony DeMarco, who was on earlier, a special edition of the program, the Texas Rangers, when they had their old football field, their old baseball field turned into the XFL. So I'm glad that some of these 25, 30-year-old stadiums aren't getting the wrecking ball and that they're actually being utilized. And Turner Field and now the Texas Rangers' old ballpark will turn into an XFL park. We got 3 more games to go. Appalachian State 7-1 against South Carolina. Who would have thought that these records would be what they are? But that's exactly what they are.
That is, yes. Appalachian State. I think they're coming off a loss against Georgia Southern from last week. They got surprised. So, South Carolina. That's a tough ball club. That's. I'm gonna go with App State though. I'm gonna go with App State to win.
Okay.
Yep.
That's good. I like that. I was hoping you'd come up with them. Now let's go to talk about Notre Dame, a part-time ACC member, taking on Duke. David Cutcliffe, the guy that produces quarterbacks.
And this is a ball game that Notre Dame should win. I'm not a big Notre Dame fan. I think they've been overrated all year long, and it's been proven when they went out and played against some quality teams, when they came down here and played Georgia, and obviously when they played Michigan as well. But this is a game. I mean, Duke is not the class of the ACC. That ACC is not a very strong conference. The Notre Dame should get a win this week. That shouldn't be an issue. That shouldn't be a problem.
So you say Notre Dame's going to win it? Okay.
Yep.
And And then one more to go. Tennessee 4-5 against Kentucky 4-4. I never expected these two state neighbors to be this close in football, since Tennessee has a great tradition, but things aren't so good at Rocky Top. They couldn't even get their head coaching situation right for a while. And the man that they were talking to was Greg Schiano, and that thing blew up too. But nevertheless, you have a 4-5 Tennessee matchup against Kentucky 4-4.
Yeah, Kentucky likes to run the football, so I'm gonna go with Kentucky.
Okay. What do you think, Lewis? How did Mel do with this first set of predictions?
I'll see how Nostradamus like he is, when we do this again next week and we talk to him again. But, I agree with you on that Miami game. Maybe they're running a little bit of momentum right now, so maybe they go out and they beat, win that game. The LSU game is going to be fascinating. I feel like everybody's got that game circled on their calendar. 1 and 2 in the AP poll. I mean, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I still think Alabama comes out on top, though, although LSU is pretty damn scary at this point.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised though if LSU won, but I think that Alabama, I'm just going with the head coaches. I'm just saying that I believe that over the few years, Dabo seems to kind of have mixed number for some reason, but I believe that Nick Saban's a better coach, and that's why they're going to win the football game.
Well, Ed Orgeron, though, is an underrated coach. He's done a pretty good job at LSU. He really has. But
just being able to stabilize the program. I mean, Les Miles was no slouch. I mean,
right.
It wasn't that Les Miles wasn't succeeding over there. He just couldn't beat Alabama. That was his problem. He couldn't beat Alabama. Ed Orgeron is having, obviously, he's had the same problem as well. He's a great recruiter. He gets, he's got players over there. He's got horses. Now, it's going to be a matter of whether or not those guys are going to be prepared to play on Saturday. I just believe that Nick's going to have his guys prepared to play.
So do you think that I'm sorry, go ahead, finish.
No, and they're going to make the fewest mistakes.
Okay, do you think that USC is licking their chops that they should have kept Ed Orgeron? Because I think that was one of the biggest gaffes I've seen in a while.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, they had their chance to keep him. He was an interim coach there for a minute.
Right.
I know he would have liked to have had that job. But no, I think USC has moved on from that. I don't think I don't think they've lost one night of sleep thinking about they should have kept Ed Orgeron over there. I truly believe that.
Well, I will say one thing about this segment here, Mel. We found you a new niche. I like this thing, talking college football with you. What do you think, Mel? You ready to ride this out for the rest of the year? Now that you're going to be my new college football analyst.
Mel Kiper the third.
Huh?
Absolutely, I can do it.
You are? Well, you can. You did. Now I'm holding on to my notes, and I'm going to find out exactly what your picks are. And next Thursday's Sports Exchange, we're going to give you. We're going to find out what you really know, and I'll come up with some new games.
Yeah, call your bookie.
Call my. Well, my bookie is my wife. She's my bookkeeper.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I'm not quite. Being a member of the media is probably best that I do my bookie when it comes to writing. And Lewis is actually going to be taking that part over. I'm just going to stick to broadcasting, what I think I'm good at. But,
right. That's good.
But a new segment is born, and Mr. Mel Farr is now our new college football analyst, and he's going to be on the hook for 10 games every week, and we're going to pick him out and see where he comes. So I'll be curious to find out what the scorecard is with you, Mr. Farr.
Thank you. So will I.
Good. Keep doing your homework on college football, because you're going to get grilled every week. It's been a lot of fun. We'll get ready to do it again next week, Mel. Thanks for being on the program, and I have a feeling we may have locked down your time frame. Either this 9 to 9:30 time frame, I think works pretty good. I don't think it's past your bedtime, is it?
Nope, not at all.
All right, well, I like consistency, especially when I see new trends, and evidently we seem to have one. Good stuff, Mel. Proud of you, and it won't be long before we do see you, probably like 4 weeks. Oh, I should let you off the line, though. I do have a ticket booked to go to L.A. In 8 weeks. I have to go there for Southern California sports broadcasters. So I'm trying to finagle where I'm going to stay in Burbank.
Okay.
You ever heard of Lakeside Country Club?
No, I haven't heard of Lakeside Country Club. Nope.
Well, all I know is they don't take denim, so I actually have to get somewhat dressed up for this thing.
You can put some khakis on, Harbo.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, Chris Roberts said that they won't accept denim, but I might get along with the khakis thing. One thing that came to mind, what were your thoughts about the way Michigan pummeled Notre Dame, though?